And good morning and welcome to Poppy's Workshop. And it is, of course, Sunday, Father's Day. And for Father's Day, I am in the workshop. Uh, that's kind of typical for me. Let me see, I've got to make some adjustment here. I don't want this widget open. Let's see, analytics, there we go. Okay, here we go. Trying to make sure all my screens are correct. Usually the first few minutes are kind of messed up. So last night spent an evening with my spouse's friends, and we had a North Carolina boil. So basically this is where you take a pot of hot water, you add the, I forgot the seasoning, Old Bay seasoning, and you cook up. Last night we had crab, sausage, shrimp, potato, corn on the cob, all in the pot cooked, and then they put wax paper on the table. We ate outside on the porch. It was absolutely glorious evening, and basically you just eat with your hands. No, my hands are clean. They were smelling like Old Bay, and then my paper towel had this orangey tint to it, but, fantastic. It actually reminded me of the old, what is it, New England boils where you'd have lobster and everything, and you do it on the beach, digging a hole and all that. So kind of a fun way to spend an evening. Enjoyed that. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. So I got contacted by a friend of mine who would like to support Poppy's Workshop and had asked if I would be able to do a Christmas item for her. And, she's going to be a supporter. It's like, okay, yeah, let me do that. And she picked something that I had done last year. Hey, JJE, good morning to you. And this is a Sue-made design. She has some rather complex designs. I've done a number of hers, and we'll be doing a couple more. But this is one that we're actually going to be doing today. So this is today's. It will be mahogany. So let me bring that up. I love mahogany. This piece is actually half an inch, so I am doing a double stack here so that I'll be creating two at the same time. I'll probably give one as a gift. So that's what we'll be cutting today. And there's some really intricate, let me get my pen here. There we go. There's some really thin, intricate portions that are in this, particularly the staffs of the shepherds and some of the legs. So these are where I'm going to be careful. I haven't drilled these holes out yet. I've got to check the one I did last year and see whether I did those or not. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. There's some of the details here that I may come back and visit when I get, about halfway down. I'm going to figure out what I have to do to modify this design, whether I'll drill the holes and cut them or just leave them as is. But one of the things that I will do is when I'm cutting, I'm going to stay to the outside of the guideline there. So that is thin, and you mess up a little bit, you could break that staff. Now it'll be a half an inch thick or deep, so in reality it'll be fairly strong, in particular since it's going to be supported in two spots, and it'll be half an inch thick. But the main thing is not to let it get too paper thin, that if it ever gets hit. So we'll do that. But again, mahogany, one of my favorites, especially when it's finished with linseed oil. I may look into doing this with Danish oil. I'm not sure yet, because I do want not too much of a sheen, but hey Larry, good to see you on board. So it doesn't do too much of a sheen, but just the color is beautiful. It cuts really well. I like the tight grain. So this is one of my favorites, along with walnut. So that's what we'll be cutting today. So now you're probably wondering, dude, it's like 6 months before Christmas. Well, duh. So I tend to work in advance on things. I'm still working on the 125 toys. I didn't get much done this week. I'll tell you about that a little bit later on, about the engines for my power washer and my my generator. I'll tell that story a little bit later on, so remind me. So now this here, these are ornaments. This is the Volker Arnold. I did one of his pieces last year, which was the Schwiebogen, which is a candle arch. And this is lovely, classic German Christmas artwork. So let me see, I'm going to get this up a little bit closer before it goes out of focus. I can't tell if it's because of my glasses or it's just soft, but you can get a general idea of these. So I'll show you these. So I have some wood coming in, and I'll probably be using some scrap wood, but I have some 1/4 inch coming in, well, tomorrow. And where's the other one here? Oh yeah, here we go. I think I made 2 of these. Yeah, and 2 of these. So this is the other ornaments, 3 different ones. And what's supposed to happen, I'm trying to remember. Nope, it's a 1 cut. So you have this as the front, and then this base, you put 2 of these in. Let me see, are we on the screen here? Yeah, but it is, I think it's kind of soft. This is a spacer to get this front out so that it stands up. So this is the front stand that'll go there. So it'll be able to go on a tabletop or something like that. So 3 different designs, basically showing the birth of Christ. So this will make a nice set. But I will be doing these in 1/2 inch, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch? No, 1/4 inch, sorry. 1/4 inch wood. I didn't want to go back down to 1/8. I'm just not sure about it. So I'm going to do these most likely in walnut. As I said, I've got the 1/4 inch coming in tomorrow. A whole bunch of, I think I did pick 3 different species that I like. Let's see, I got mahogany, I got walnut, oh, and I got canary wood. So these may look really good in canary wood. I love cutting that. Even though it's a higher Janka. I forgot, walnut is, I think, 11 or 1200. The mahogany is just a hair over 1000 Janka. But those are really good ideal woods to cut. So, here is the German version of the Christmas story. And a lot of these, what I'm going to do, I mentioned last week where I work at NATO, they have a Christmas bazaar. And I'll hopefully be able to get onto one table. If the United States doesn't have their table again this year, this is the wives of the military officers who are stationed at ACT, NATO ACT headquarters. I'll get on either the Hungarian or the Italian table because that's also my heritage as well. So we'll see how that works as we get closer. But I like to get this stuff done in advance in case I screw up. So here are the 2 big pieces that I'm going to do by Volker. And this is the Shooting Star, a winter scene. So let's get that a little bit closer. And you can see, again, a church, winter scene, a Christmas tree, a deer. So, a very German piece. So what I plan on doing this one, and I'm on the debate on this, is either just do it in 1/2 inch. I may do 1/4. Still debating on that. But if I do 1/4 inch, what I'll do is put the spacers, and then I may just put a plain outline backer. I'm not going to do 2 of these, but what I want to do is light it inside with the colorful lights. And if you remember the triple piece that I did last year by Sue May, I strung these colored small LED lights in between. So that's the other piece that I'm going to be doing. And then this one here, it's going to be a little bit confusing because, let's see, I got three of the same. And I'm going to do the same thing. Here is a winter scene. Sorry about that. So starting there, you can see the winter scene. Oh, I'm getting cockeyed. Leaning. Church, snowman. What do we got over here? Yeah, and just, skiing and sledding. So we have that, and then I'm going to make two of these here, the side. And what I plan on doing, again, the plans had originally called for two of these, so you have a duplicate front and back, light it. But what I'm thinking of doing is I am going to just, again, do the outline so that I have a solid back, so that you put it up on a mantle or something like that, and then let the light shine through. I'll probably use colored or white paint, maybe speckle it or something like that to give a nice reflection of the colored lights. Here's the base right here, and so my plan is most likely this will be 1/4 inch and the base will be 1/2 inch thick. I'm still debating on that, how I'm going to do that. But that's that one, and I think that, yeah, those are the plans so far of what I want to accomplish. And this week, what's kind of nice is we have a holiday in the middle of the week, so I have elected to take a nice long weekend and spend the long weekend in the shop. So this week will be the Christmas week, and yeah, we'll hopefully get a lot done, and in between maybe put some wheels on some cars. I'm kind of changing direction on that a little bit nervous because I'm learning about certification for toys and everything like that. So I've got a device coming in tomorrow to test for choke hazards, but I'm probably just going to start marking all my toys not for use under 3 years old. And then I'll go for the third-party testing of the toys, which can be quite expensive. Now, I already know because I use only hardwoods. Now, this is important, so listen up, especially if you're giving stuff to children. Hardwoods, no problem. That's no issue in terms of chemical, lead, blah, blah, blah. The finish that I use, and this is also important, I use raw linseed oil, which is food safe, child safe after curing. So I don't have to worry about that, having that tested. But if you're using other types of paints and things like that, do make sure that they're certified in advance, or you would have to get them certified. Now, this is the important part. See, I'm pointing like that, and I'm off screen. So there we go. So a lot of people that I see in the scroll saw business, when they're making toys, are using plywood. Plywood is put together by glue, certain types of glues and compounds, which are toxic. So you really want to avoid using that, especially for toys of children under 3. Actually, I would probably say under 5, because they are prone to put those in their mouth. So you don't know what chemicals are in that. So you would need, I forgot the name of the initials of the testing, CDFD or something like that. It's on my website. So yeah, that's really, really important. If you're just doing stuff like this, yeah, if you really want to use plywood, okay, because hopefully, this isn't intended for children. This is an adult display item. But yeah, I'm learning all this stuff, and it's going to be an edumacation for me. So be aware of that. A lot to learn. My concern with my toys for children under 3, I have been scaling down just a little bit. I don't have any toys handy. So my wheels are a little bit smaller than normal, and I'm kind of afraid, yeah, nutwoods, yep, very, very important. That's a good one, Larry, to be aware of. I generally don't, I don't think I've used, oh wait, I used walnut. Thanks a lot, Larry. Oh no. Let's see, beech. Yeah, walnut is mine that I use. So yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that and see what that does, and if hopefully perhaps that I seal them in the linseed oil, that prevents issues, but you never know. So yeah, I'm gonna look into that as well. But it's a learning process. But anyway, what I'm concerned about with my toys, my smaller ones, is not so much if they put it in their mouth or anything like that, totally safe at that point, but it's the breakage. So this is where I would have to go for third-party testing, is where they'll do, stress testing of it. Because my concern are the axles and the pegs. Let's see, here we go. So axles, not so much, because if it breaks, you'll have the wheels on it. I don't have a wheel handy. Well, actually, wait a second. Yeah, so let's say that this was in and it broke. Well, it would come out like this, but my concern would be this small wheel. So the device I'm getting today, it'll check for choke hazard, but my fear is anything that breaks off, if it's a small piece. You're not sure about oak because of acorns. Yeah, yeah. So when I was reading the site, it just said hardwoods. It didn't say anything about a specific species and allergies. So I'll definitely dig deeper into that. So anyway, let's say that this broke off, and there was a small piece like this. This is definitely. Let me get that so you can see. That would definitely be a choke hazard. So my hope would be is that if this actually broke, is that I'd have two of these, so that it's two pieces that are not choke hazards. That's my concern. But the real concern is if that comes off like that, and now all of a sudden I have this small piece, which is distinctly a choke hazard. Oh, actually both wheels would have to go off, and then this. So I'll be testing those. But my main concern is I have been, for some of my wheels that have internal hubs, so like this here, this is a big one, but I do have smaller ones. So I use pegs, but again, don't have it handy. I have big pegs. Yeah, here we go. Wait a sec. And I usually have to cut them down a little bit. So let me get that light over a little bit. So I have to cut them down, and if the peg breaks or comes out, it's my wood's 3/4 inches, so I'm half of that. So I, have a peg on two sides, and if this breaks off, the peg comes unglued for whatever reason. Now I have this. This can be a major concern. So I may start moving away from pegs like this, or making them longer with a spacer. But then even the spacer can be a choke hazard. Maybe for the toys under 3 years old, I will use a full through axle, which limits the breakage even in a high drop. So I'm going to be trying to wreck some of my toys. So for my under 3, I think I'm going to do this. Above 3, I'll be willing to do pegs, but I am concerned, especially when I did the really large one, it just didn't make sense that there could be easier breakage. And when you get up into the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, the kids are a bit rougher with the toys. So these are all things to consider when doing toys. Who would have thunk that, Gosh. All right. I think I've yacked enough. So there we are. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, as I said, I think I'm going to start switching back to that as the full length axle. Definitely for under 3. But I have all these, I've already drilled holes that are set for pegs and stuff like that. And I don't have axles that are quite that thick. So I'll figure that out. Like I said, change of direction. That's why I haven't done any wheels this week. I've got to reanalyze how that is. And then also, I think I'd mentioned before, let me reach over here. Now, I did a much bigger ones than this. These I'm probably not going to give away. But I actually did the first ones, I did it with cedar in the middle. Well, cedar wound up being, I think it's 900 Jacob. And the little boy, he's only 2 years old, of my friend was playing with it, dropped it, and the head broke off. That is a distinct choke hazard, even though that toy was much, much bigger. So he didn't, he just took the head, put it away, says when he gets a little bit older, I'll glue it back on. But I think what I may do is take it back from him and give him something else, a different type of racer, that we don't have to worry about that. But thankfully, most of the time, with his 2-year-old, he's under supervision with that. So very important, because like with this one, I shaped the head, and of course, bringing it in a little bit for the shoulders and everything weakens it. So a good drop this way can cause issues. So yeah, all the things I never had expected when I got into toy making. Yeah. So let me switch over. Where's my mouse? Moosey. There we go. All right. I got my mouse. Let me get my mouse back. Let me switch to the scroll saw. There we go. All right. So let me get my headphones turned on. I don't know if I'm going to listen to music through them, but here are my headphones, and I have them all silicone wrapped to prevent the dust. Hey, I was wondering, I have the air conditioner on right now. I didn't know if that was a bother or not. I have the room dust handling on. Generally, you can't hear that. And then I have, I got to get my chair up higher. There we go. And of course, I'm going to be turning on the dust handling system momentarily. I'm going to try and prevent the whistling, but we'll go from there. Oh, before I do anything, I do need to change the blade. This is a number 5 ultra reverse, and it's been used, so I'm going to put it on the magnet here, and I am going to go to a number 3. So starting out, I will use a number 3 ultra reverse, Flying Dutchman, of course, and see how that cuts. I know some of them I'm going to have to go down to a number 1. I'm going to flip that back so I can see. I need my magnifying glass. Man, I'll tell you, getting old is not for the faint of heart. We stayed out to almost 9 o'clock last night. You figure I'm normally in bed by 8 because I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. So I was beat, and then trying to get back home. Yeah, it's, ugh. All right, let's tension that, and let's do the back. Oop, let's get this out of the way. Yeah, Sume designs are definitely challenging, but they are distinctly beautiful in what we have. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work from the top. Oh, did I undo that? Oh, man, that tightened up. I got to loosen that up. Man, I can't even see the blade against the black. That's with this Pegasus, the black finish. It has some advantages and disadvantages, of course. There we go. Let's get that adjusted. There we go. Let's see if there's any comments here. Yeah, there's some background noise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to you know, I'm going to be turning on the dust handling system, so that's going to overpower the air conditioner right now, because what's the temperature right now? It's not telling me. It says morning news. I'm not going to bring that up, but I know we're going to be getting close to 90 today. It was already in the 80s. I was out putting the finishing touches on the flag, you know, the flag, eagle, and Lady Liberty. It's all glued together, and I was putting a light gloss finish on it. And then what I decided to do, probably stupid, is I broke out the gold paint and from a distance started spit, trying to get a little spackling on the blue and the red. And I think in one part it looks more like overspray. I didn't want that, but it still looks fine. I just wanted to dirty it up a little bit. Okay, so I am going to turn on the dust handling system, so be aware it'll get a little bit noisy. And I'm going to have my headphones on. Yep, they are noise canceling. And here we go. Let's get started here. I'm not used to stack cutting two halves. I've got to figure out how I want to do my turns. Let's see. I'm having trouble seeing right now. The first cut is always the hardest. I may switch to a number one in a bit. But these are small cuts. Yeah, a little bit harder to control the blade the way I like. I've got to figure out how the wood is cutting, especially on the turns. I think what I may need to do, hold on for a second here. I'm going to tension that blade up a little bit more. Yeah, that was kind of loose. Tension that up. Hopefully give me a little bit better handling. Okay, let's get back into position here. Let's see, what's my speed? I'm going to go a little bit faster here. Speed and tension, always watch that. My one concern is when I get to the thin holes, the stacks, is being that I'm on a stack, is that if the blade is off, in terms of the cut, if it pitches side to side, the top would be fine, but the bottom I may wind up breaking. So that's another reason why I'll go out, stay outside of the line, try and make them just a hair thicker. And I'm sticking a little bit. This piece will take a while because it's slow cutting. And again, the 3 seems to be working fine. My go-to is always the number 5. I think that may be, for the larger parts, not too bad. I'm going to have to speed this up some more. I have to over-exaggerate some of the turns. There we go. I'm concerned. Oh, got that top piece cut off. All right. First cuts. Let's take a look at, yeah, a little bit of scorching. Not too bad. But I love the finish of a Flying Dutchman. It is so smooth. Just wonderful. All right. So what's everybody working on this week? What kind of projects are you working on currently? I'd love to hear or see in the chat what y'all are working on. I'm trying to get this really nice and tight. The Pegasus is so much different than the Excalibur. And some days I kick myself for getting the 30-inch rather than another 21 because I don't do big stuff. But it was about availability, and my Excalibur I'm rebuilding. But not being able to reach the tension bar easily is kind of a disadvantage. You know, I'm going to speed this up a little bit more. So anyway, I was telling you about my generator and my pressure washer. Well, usually, you hear that word, I do preventive maintenance and run them at least every other week or every third week. Keep them going. But dummy me, lazy me, last year I did not do that. And I did not run them dry. Rather, I just, turned the choke to off and walked away, so to speak. And stupid. The fuel went bad. Hold on for a sec. The fuel went bad and gummed up the carburetor, so I couldn't get the engines to run. If I put carb cleaner in, so I was trying to clean the carb out that way, or use starter fluid, ether, I could get the engine to run as long as I was still spraying. And of course that tells me it's the carburetor because it's obviously not the electrical system. So, man, I think my throat's coming up here. So I looked to hire a mobile technician for small engines, and it took me 2 phone calls for him to finally reply back. But his first text back was, I got your message, I'll just replace the carburetors. And based on your description, he says that's the problem. So I had diagnosed it correctly, obviously. So I said, great, how much and when can you get to me? His response was, not until September. It's like, dude, we just entered hurricane season. My neighborhood, you pass wind hard and we will lose power in this neighborhood. They were supposed to sink our power lines 3 or 4 years ago. They started on the neighborhood next door, or the street parallel to mine, and they never finished. So I need a generator. So I was going to hire somebody else. There's a local shop probably about 10 minutes away from me, and they have a service where they'll pick up the engines, the equipment, and deliver it back after fixing. But they charge $80 for pickup. I don't know if that's pickup and delivery, or I have to pay 80 plus 80. So when I thought about it, I'm like, wait a second. I already know that I'm going to be paying 80 bucks right up front, or whatever the mobile technician charges to make a house call, which is probably going to be $80 or $100 right off the top. And he said he's going to replace the carburetors. So I went on Amazon, of course. There we go. I went on Amazon and I looked at the carburetors, and they were just over 20 bucks a piece, $22. Good, those dropped out nicely. That's what I'm trying to make sure, that these drop out nicely, that the top and bottom piece are identical, so that the blade is not shifting one way or another. Let me go see what the comments are, and then I'll get on with my story. Oh, Larry, you haven't been feeling crafty. And there she is. Hey, Nancy. Tell your husband Happy Father's Day back. But I appreciate that. So anyway, I see that these carburetors are 20 bucks, $22 a piece. And I said, worst case scenario, I get the carburetors, I spend, $45 for the pair, and I cannot install them. I cannot get them to work. That's the worst case scenario. And I would then have to go and either have the mobile technician come out in September, or have the other organization, the other company, come and pick them up, because they're way too heavy and bulky for me to lift. I've got a 9K, 10K generator, and that is a monster. So I went and I bought, wait a second here. I went and I bought the carburetors, and they came in last week, and I went to it. So these were supposed to be compatible, and I did the pressure washer first, because that's what I needed most, because I have a lot of concrete patio and walkways, and in this area of the Mid-Atlantic, we get this, what do you want to call it, mossy, moldy, black ick that grows on concrete, and then of course dirt and stuff that washes from the sides of the property, all that goofy stuff. So anyway, started on that, and it only took me 20 minutes to remove and install the new carburetor. And it took 2 pulls, and I started and ran. Yay! The only bad news is that the choke, the plastic piece for the choke, for the levers and everything, was not the same. So I could not put the air filter back on, using the levers that I already had and everything. So that was a frustration. And that was actually the same thing with the generator. So this is where my review said when compatible does not mean compatible, compatible quote unquote. So I got the pressure washer going. Then the next day worked on the generator, which was a little bit more involved and difficult, because I had to there's a wire that comes out from underneath, because it's an electric start, and I don't know what it is that goes to the bottom of the bowl and then to the front panel, that I had to route the wire and everything. In itself, the difficult part was unplugging the old plugs without breaking the wire, because they were semi-crimped, and then routing the wire that was, I think, a hair too short. I couldn't get it to start on a pull, but when I hooked the battery back up and did it that way with the electric start, boom, fired right up. So I'm going to make sure, A, that I am doing my preventive maintenance and starting them every other week or so, not to exceed 3 weeks. And I'm also going to run them dry. So yesterday I did my back patio and all the walkways to the front of the house. And that took about 2 hours. And I flipped the switch to shut off the fuel, and it ran for about 45 seconds or so, a minute, give or take, and just ran that bowl dry. So that way I don't have to worry about gumming up the carburetor again. So yeah, that's the story of me doing the carburetors this week. Now I still have to finish the carpet shampooer, getting that cleaned out. And so that's my other project. So between working full-time and all the tasks around home, it is quite quite interesting. So, okay. This is actually going very well. As I said, I really like mahogany. Oh, another story. So yesterday, actually let me back up a little bit. My oldest daughter, the one going for her PhD now, she's been married for 10 years now. It's just, wow, time has flied for my little girl. And her husband is a major in the U.S. Army, and they are now PCSing. They've been in Ohio, where he received it. He was at the Air Force University there in Ohio, and he received his master's in nuclear physics. So they are PCSing, and yesterday was their day they're already packed up. The military movers came, and they're going to West Point, where my son-in-law will be teaching nuclear physics to the cadets for the next 3 years, and then hopefully go back to Ohio, and he'll get his PhD. So now he owes another 6 years to the military, and that'll happen again. But at this point in his career, he's in for life. By the time he's done at West Point, he will be lieutenant colonel promotable. But anyway, I was drilling the holes to this piece yesterday, talking to my daughter, because it was a long drive, and her husband was just ahead of her in the drive. And, she had to stop, go to the bathroom and everything, so she said, well, I'm going to talk to Mommy, and then I'll give you a call back later on. So while she was talking to my wife, she got stuck in traffic, and some yahoo did not stop and ran into the back of her vehicle. Thankfully, it was low speed, so she was unharmed, nor her 2 cats that were in her little Mini Cooper. She was unharmed, cats were unharmed. It looks like minimal damage to the car itself, thankfully. So she gets out of the car, knocks on his window, and is like, hey, we got to exchange information. I want to see your driver's license. I want your insurance papers. And the guy's kind of ignoring her, then holds up his phone to the window that says, no speak English. Yeah, right. So thankfully, my daughter, I kind of taught her to always think through things, and she snapped a picture of his license plate. It was an expired temporary license plate from Minnesota. It was, unless you only run non-ethanol gas, shut it off and let it die. Yeah, Larry, I learned that. I can't find non-ethanol fuel out here unless I go to like Home Depot and buy it by the little cans, which is way too expensive for a generator, for example. And that's what's ruining most of our power tools, especially like our weed whackers and everything. That ethanol is wrecking the rubber and the plastics inside. It's unreal. Now, I could use those little cans of non-ethanol fuel and pre-mixed oil. Well, actually, mine are the 4-stroke, so I have to mix the oil myself. Just like a regular, didn't tension that. Just like a regular car, with separate oil. But anyway, yeah, that's what I learned, because I replaced fuel lines and everything, added fuel filters, because neither of mine had fuel filters. That was kind of shocking, especially for a generator. So, you're going to run a generator for, days. But anyway, all right, back to my daughter's story. So she had the wherewithal to take that photograph, and Just as she was trying to get him to get out of the car to exchange information, the traffic started moving again. She was off the side of the road. And this jackhole took off. So he basically did a hit and run. So taking a step back, she was on the phone with my wife when she got hit. And my wife heard it. And she's like, oh my gosh, somebody just hit me from behind. I got to go. I got to call Dave, her husband. So, my wife comes in. She's in a panic. But anyway, fast forward again. She got the picture. The guy took off. And I'm texting her. I'm like, call the state police. So she had called the state police. And being that there was already an accident that they were just clearing, and maybe she went past it, they were there within under 5 minutes. So apparently, and she's texting me, she's like, Daddy, he has my driver's license. When can I leave? When can I leave? I'm like, honey, just be patient. He's checking on things. Well, he comes back and she said that there was 3 troopers. She said they were all really sweet to her. This is in Pennsylvania, and very nice. Very concerned and everything, and assured it's not her fault because she got hit by behind and the guy ran. Meanwhile, they had contacted, or they got the information from Minnesota, the state police or whatever, the DMV, and they found an address that matched the car of the Veloster, of course. And they said, well, this guy, that address, is going to be getting a lot of tickets in the mail, and he's going to have to go to court because of a hit and run. And if he doesn't, there will be a bench warrant out for him. So I don't know if she's ever going to hear about it. She has a police report for her insurance. And, okay, why isn't that moving? She has the police report and all that stuff. And maybe she will be able to contact and say, what's the status? I'd like to find out if that jackhole, something happens to him. But, you never know. It might not even be his license. It might not even be his car. He might have borrowed it, so somebody else is going to get stuck. Or nothing's going to happen. But I will guarantee you, not only was his license plate expired, I bet either A, he did not have a driver's license, or it was revoked or expired. So he was not able to drive. And I would guarantee he doesn't have car insurance either. So my daughter will be stuck with that. Thankfully, she has good insurance. Because we're in the military and we get some decent insurance rates and everything. And she has the, the comprehensive on her vehicle. So yeah, that's the 3rd accident that my daughter's been in her life. Let's see. Super unleaded out there at the pump is, okay, I'll double check that, because actually when I did, I got the super unleaded, got like 2 gallons, and that's what I put in to test the generator, and that's what I ran my my power washer yesterday. So I did have that, so good to know, but dang, it is a lot more expensive for sure. But all things considered, for me to replace my generator, you're looking at $700-800. And then consider if I don't have a generator and I have all this stuff in the freezer and we lose power for 3 days, unless I can heat it on my grill, we lose all that, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Okay, why isn't that coming out? There we go. So, yeah, best to take care of your equipment. I had a guy criticize me because I think it was a Facebook forum or something, because I clean my shop and clean my tools pretty much every time I use it. And his reply, I don't do that. I would use that time to get more cutting done. It's like, yeah, but my equipment stays in good shape. It's just part of how I work. Kevin, hey there. I am using a number 3 Flying Dutchman Ultra Reverse. I am debating when I get to the smaller ones if I'm going to switch down to a number, my number one. But for now, cutting mahogany 1 inch thick because I'm doing a half-inch double stack. I'm using the number 3, and I find that it's working really well. As I had stated earlier, my concern is, especially with the cutting through 1 inch, 2 pieces, half-inch each, is that I want to make sure that the blade stays perfectly perpendicular to the table, parallel, because when I get to the thin pieces, the shepherd's, yeah, say that right, staff, I want to make sure that I don't have an angle when I cut. So I will definitely put a fresh blade in when I do all those so that I have the best cut possible. But yeah, I really like the Flying Dutchman. It's not as aggressive as, say, the Pegasus. All right, let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to do this right now, because I want the star to still have its shape. Ah, damn it. That's what I was afraid of. So I actually accidentally went through here. No big deal, because again, it's thick, but I was trying to leave a little bit there. So my turn, I screwed up. Oh well. That's what I'd be concerned with doing the thin piece of the shepherd's staff as well. But the Flying Dutchman, again, is not as aggressive, doesn't last as long as a Pegasus, but the finish is beautiful. Much better than the Pegasus on the cut itself. You know, you get this nice shiny, smooth. You don't have to sand it or anything. I just like it that much better. So, yeah, everybody has a preference. But I use the Pegasus, especially like the number 10, for some of my harder woods, my thicker toys, because it just cuts fast. But, you know, a tool in the toolbox. You know, I know the Volker Arnold piece, I will be using a spiral in some places. I have number 1 spirals from Flying Dutchman. And I don't use, yeah, I do not use spirals very often because I don't like the fuzzies and the jaggies and all the extra time that I have to spend having to sand it. You know, but certain types of cuts, I really find that I can only do it with a spiral. And, a little bump there that I want to get rid of. And then, let's see, let me check my messages here. Yes, I do find that that I have better control with the Flying Dutchman as well. And the other thing, let me see, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do a cut here. I'm going back. Ah, there we go. This is what I want to do. Okay. So there's a little bit of a star here. But I'm going to go in just here at the top to give it shape. There we go. Just a little bit. Not going to go quite as far. So, you know, if you look, this here is so, look at the shine. Look how smooth that is. You know, looking at the underside, no jaggies or anything. And this is the discardable piece. No jaggies or anything like that. It just, overall, it's just a really nice blade. Now, my favorite is actually the number 5. Yeah, look at that. This is nice. Um, I find that I can handle the number 5 much better. So that is my go-to. Let me see, I think I got a piece of wood in here. Nope, that's the safety bar. Ha! Okay. That's it. Hold on for a sec. I find that the number 5 is just the one that I have the best control. And I was actually tempted to start with the number 5 today. But I said, I'll go number 3. Try and get that tighter. I'm going to go with the number 3 and see how that does. And I'm liking the way it's cutting. Not quite as aggressive, of course, as the number 5. But with these thinner pieces, and, you know, I'm going to move my light. I have 2 stands, one on the wall, and hold on for a second here. I'm going to tighten that up. And then one just on my table, which gives me a different angle for my lens. But the problem is, whoops, let me tighten that up. The problem is that on certain turns, you can't see it from here, but over there, let's say that the bar was here, I would hit the bar of my magnifying light. So then I move it to the wall. But I like this angle better. It's just easy to see. Now I just realized I got to go to the outside of this line here. And these are 1-point lines, so staying on them gives you a very accurate cut. Okay. Yeah, I just like this view a lot better. Exaggerate that turn. And come back. Let the blade do the work. And you'll see the blade travel on its own. And right now I'm mapping out how I'm going to do that star right here. In my peripheral vision I see it. And it's like, alright, how the heck am I going to do that? Yep. Bouncing a little bit. So let the blade do the work. Watching how it travels. But I'm debating what I'm going to do after I leave the stream. I'm done with the stream today. I may do more pressure washing. I still have to do the driveway. We can fit 6 vehicles, 2 side by side. Alright, what am I stuck on here? I might do the suction. Let's see. A little far back. There we go. So I've got a 6-car driveway and then another short walkway to the front door. And I figure that should take me about an hour and a half to do, but the temperatures are rising. Let's see, yeah, it's 79 right now, according to the temperature on my computer. I think that's a lie from the devil, because it's a lot, I think it's hotter than that. There we go. You know, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to come from this angle. Start up high. I can't get that right. I'm bouncing. There we go. I want the star to be sharp. So I'm going to come from the other side. Not trimming the way I want. See, You notice that I tend to keep the scrap wood to the right of my cut. We've talked about this a lot. I just find that I can control the blade better. So, I will cut with it to the left. There we go. But yeah, this piece was requested. Oh, and here's a funny thing. Actually, if you go to my website, visit poppysworkshop.org, and on the menu bar on the top, there's additional information. Let that drop down come up, and you'll see dedications. And if you click on dedication, the top dedication is to my grandfather, Poppy. Poppy Charles, or Salvador. And below that is a dedication to two men, Mr. Rebello and Mr. Marcelli. Mr. Rebello was my high school instructor, teacher, for 4 years. I did drafting 1, drafting 2, then architecture. Then I was his guinea pig for a new class in design. Industrial design, and Mr. Marcelli was my woodshop instructor for 4 years, and they were also best friends. So I have a dedication to both of them. Well, anyway, the person requesting this piece is the daughter of Mr. Rebello, and he was a tough teacher, very fair, very firm. Actually, both of the men had served in the military, active duty. I believe it was the Korean War. It might have been Vietnam. I might have been too young for Vietnam. I'm not sure. No, probably Korean. I think they were the same age as my father, who was a Korean War vet who served active duty in theater. And most of my male teachers, as I started reading their biographies, obituaries, they were all military, prior military service. There we go. Smooth that out. Did I get everything? Yeah. Let me see the comments here. Going up. Sorry, blade. Okay. Kevin, doing some compound cut ballerinas with 5. Great. Oh, so you're going to do some carving. Yeah, I want to start doing that too. Maybe do that with my my pieces in, oh, you can't see it. Wait a sec, let me just quick switch over here. Hold on for a second. There we go. Okay, so what I'm thinking more so is some of these, since I'm doing them in 1/4 inch, yeah, you really can't see it, unfortunately. But these pieces, I'm thinking of doing a little bit of carving on them. Maybe these just shaping just a little bit, carving. Yeah, it's a little bit soft, sorry. But I'm thinking of doing the same thing on those as well. Let's go back to the scroll saw. Ah, Larry's going to be 83. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. So, Kevin, where are you that you have the hot weather? Larry, in terms of the spiral blade, I have trouble handling them. Now, actually, let me switch back. Wait a second here. I am really good with a straight blade, but actually, yeah, both these pieces. So this piece here, these I will do with a spiral blade. These particular patterns here will be spiral because they are so jaggy and everything. To do it with a flat blade would be really difficult. So these will lend to how I'm comfortable with. I'll be using a number 1 spiral blade. In terms of Volker, yeah, Volker also, because if you look at some of these accent lines, that I'm going to have to do basically freehand, so to speak, and I will be using spirals for those. Maybe in the details here. Here I'll do a straight blade. So I'll use a combination of both. Here I'll use a straight blade for that, but I'll be using spiral here. I'll use a straight blade here. It's all on how it finishes and how that is. Again, I'm very, very particular how accurate I am to the lines. Okay. Oh, Kevin, I was just telling you, my daughter is just relocating from Ohio. You know, where the Air Force Museum is, they have the Air Force University. They've been there for 3 years. And yesterday they officially drove away. But hopefully in 3 years they will be back to Ohio. They really love that neighborhood. They had a home built there. It was just really, it was probably one of the best places that they have lived. Wonderful neighbors. So this is what I was afraid of. Yep. So here's an interesting problem. Let's see, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you should be able to see it. So here, let me go up here. The top piece fell out. I cut it through and everything like that. But when you get to here, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Wait a second. It looked like I had not cut all the way through. I thought I missed here, but maybe not. I don't know. It's not wanting to come out. I'm going to pop it from behind here. Oh, it did come out. Well, my bad. I thought that the bottom of the blade would have been tilting, let's see, here's front, you know, tilting like this a little bit, or tilting back in the cut, because I thought it wasn't all the way through, but I guess I did get all the way through there. Oh, maybe not. Where is that piece? I think it's here. The top came out. Yeah, the bottom didn't. All right, so I was correct. And now I've got to do this blind. I'm assuming, let me see here. Yeah, it's on the star. So apparently on this cut, I did not finish the line because the blade has a slight angle from front to back. So the top came out here, but not the bottom. So I'm going to have to do this blind. I probably should have just flipped it over. I can feel it. Don't feel anything there. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to flip this over because unless, let me do this. Yeah, very interesting. Usually when I double stack it, I am don't like going past 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, that's very interesting. All right, so I'm going to do this upside down to get that piece. And it is ever so slight. Man, I don't know if you can see that. Just right there, it just did not quite go through. Interesting. There we go. Yep, that was it. So I was wrong and I was right. Let's see the comments. So it looks like I just got a warning saying that YouTube is not receiving enough video. So I don't know how bad it is right now. Okay, so Larry, to answer your question, this is a Pegasus 30-inch saw. I just got it a couple months ago because my Excalibur 21-inch that I had bought brand new, I had some issues with it. I think I have since corrected, but you know, it's sitting on a mobile cart right now, plastic mobile cart, probably about 20 feet, 25 feet away from me in the shop. But, you know, I have the Pegasus chuck on the Excalibur. So I'm keeping that handy. I think I was just having trouble with the pegs, or you know, the screws, the set screws, I think became worn or something. And I forgot what else it was because it's so long ago that I was troubleshooting it. So, you know, I'd be making simple turns and the blade would just wander off. It was horrendous. I don't know what it was. And I really liked that Excalibur. I had it tuned really well. I did a lot of, you know, rickifying it, copyfying it, modifying it. And I was just super accurate with it. This I'm still learning. You know, learning how it tensions and all that. And again, being that the tension knob is so far away, I can't get the blade as tight as I like it. I tend to get it much tighter than I think people recommend. But again, if you look at how I try to stay as true to the line as possible, I'm going to not come to that line. So I don't go through that. I probably should be using a number 1 right now. But I really like the Pegasus. In comparison to the Excalibur in terms of smoothness, quietness, and everything, I'll tell you, the first time I turned it on and was cutting a piece of wood, I'm like, holy moly. I mean, you could tell that they use much better bearings. When I was taking apart the Excalibur, there were some bearings that had rust, and it's like this thing was barely over a year old, and you know, there's rust. And it's like, wait a second, I take care of my equipment, and there's no moisture in this shop. So, you know, and I could tell that the bearings were not as precision. They were gritty-ish is the only way to describe it. These are nice and smooth. But what happened is when I was trying to order the Excalibur, the Pegasus, I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll, you know, for $1,000, I'll just get the 21-inch. I went off. See, that's why I do it this way, so that if I make errors, I am in the scrap wood. So I'm going to go reverse here. So I forgot what it's going to take, like 3 months or something to get the 21-inch, but for $1,300, $1,400, I basically got the 30-inch in 3 days because they ship out of, I think it's New Jersey. So for New Jersey, for me, where they're located, they just deliver right over the eastern shore, go over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, and it's 4 miles from my house. So I got it in like 3 days, which was shocking. Put it all together that day, which was wonderful. I really like it, and you know, eventually I will probably get into doing bigger pieces, using the wait a second, hold on for a second, actually. My hand is cramping up, I'm trying to turn and talk. There we go. Okay, so I'll probably get into doing bigger pieces and using the spirals more, most likely, so I can do bigger pieces. So I'll have to slide this out from the wall more because I'm probably about 3 feet from the wall to my right side. But this will give me more flexibility. It's going to last a lot longer because it's better made. I think a piece fell and it's preventing me from moving. Oh yeah, I think that's the problem here. There's a piece here. There we go. That was preventing me from moving. So, this should hopefully last me longer. I'm not a production shop, so I'm not doing, 8 to 10 hours of scrolling a day. So, but I'm not quite a hobby shop either, where you're only doing 8 to 10 hours every 3 months. But, yeah, I intend to keep this for a long time. Plus, there's really good support on this. So let's see where we're at right now. Well, we're slowly getting there. Look, it's looking good. Here's the back side. And that looks really good. So again, you can see there's no fuzzies, jaggies, or anything like that. Very, I'll take 300 grit, 320, and just sand that. This is not going to take much finishing. Yeah, let's see, back on, it's not horrible, just a little choppy. No, absolutely, oh, you're talking about the video. Okay, that's good to know. I was going to say, thought you were going to talk about the Excalibur. Yeah, the Excalibur definitely does more vibration, but like I said, I was able to accomplish so much with it. It was just really, that's why I still keep it. It's my backup right now. But now, let me get this down so I can see comments here. Yeah, look, I've got the big garage door, and if it's raining out, I open it up. Sure, moisture's going to get in. But these are supposed to be sealed, somewhat sealed bearings or have lubrication on them. Stainless steel, you would expect them not to rust or get the surface rust that they did. But they're cheap. Let's see, son works for a hobby shop and brings me silicone bags home for work. Yep, all the toolboxes, yeah. So with my tools, I tend to oil them. When I wipe them off, I have a rag, just has a little bit of oil on it. And yeah, it prevents any kind of rusting and everything like that. So yeah, I'm kind of particular about those things. Look, my father brought me up with the expression like a tool that's not in its proper place does not exist. And every tool had a place. He made sure that all his tools were in good working order, whether they were electric or just a screwdriver or a hammer. Like I'm looking at one of my rubber mallets and I can see that, it's starting to get some chunks taken out of it. So I'll probably get a new rubber mallet. Use that as a backup or something. But, if we're going to be using tools for our hobby, for our businesses, or whatever, I think I'm going to do this. Let's close. So I'm going to do a nibble here. Especially if we're a production shop and we're doing some kind of business, whether it's, doing farmers markets or shows. I'm going to have to revisit that too. We want our tools to be dependable and there when we need them. It's like going back to my generator. Here we had a major thunderstorm. Our lights went out. Didn't know how long they'd be out for. I tried starting the generator, and because of my laziness, I couldn't get it started. So, I didn't have lights. I didn't have the refrigerator on. No microwave, no nothing. Um, our stove is electric, so we lose that as well. So my generator right now, because I've got to change the switch box out to a larger one, so I can get the stove on it and the air conditioning, heating air conditioning, because I got a 10K generator, 9K constant, I think. Um, because of my laziness, it wasn't there when I needed it the most. And so if you're a production shop and you're like, oh, I've got to do 100 of something for this show coming up, and your tools are not operational, or they're not cutting right, acting right, then, it's not good. So to take the extra 5 minutes to clean your tools, oil them, put them in a bag, whatever way to preserve them, saves you the headache. It's like that old car commercial, I think for oil or something like that. You can pay me now or you can pay me later. Same thing. So let's see. That will be enough for now. Let me get through this cut. Come on. I still feel... This is weird. There we go. All right. I'll take that off in a bit. Let me get the dust handling off. And the air conditioner off. And the headset's off. Oh, man, I was probably yelling because with the noise canceling headphones, I can't modulate quite as well. So let's see. Da-da-da-da. You wax your cast iron surfaces and keep them covered. Absolutely. There's a place for everything, and everything is in place. Yep, like I said, a tool that is not in its proper place does not exist. That's why I do not let anybody borrow my tools, unless it's a spare. But if you've seen some of the photographs that I've posted, well, actually, I don't think I have any on my website. And I don't think I did it on my Facebook because I've got Poppy's Workshop Virginia Beach Facebook page. But once in a while I'll post pictures of the workshop, and I use wall control, which is let me switch to this so you can see me. Hello, folks. So I have wall control over that way, which has some of my mallets and my spare screwdrivers, some box wrenches, saws, a whole bunch of different things, my battery-operated power tools, some clamps and tape. So that's the wall control. I used to keep my Craftsman. I have a rolling tool case, but it used to be under it. But I kind of rearranged things, and I have my 1x20 belt sander, disc sander, and my small drill press over there now. And I moved my rolling tool case that way. Because I'm trying to keep everything on one side so I can still keep my my Mustang in here, even though I've had it out and covered in my driveway for the last month and a half, because I've been doing so much stuff in here. I needed to do that, but yeah, I think even my toolboxes, you slide out. These are the screwdrivers, and they are in trays. Here are my sockets. All the sockets are on posts. I have one that has other box wrenches, but I also keep my scissors there, and the scissors always go back to the same place. Everything has a place, and it just makes it easy. So if somebody's in here, I can say, hey, I look at the drawers here, and I have labels on everything. Say, hey, go to the wrenches and get me a 10 millimeter. Can't find the 10 millimeter. Walked away. No, that's a joke about the 10 millimeters. Can never find them. Yeah. So in the shop, a place for everything. Yeah, definitely need those signs. But I bought my wife a little purple toolkit, so she has one in the kitchen. So she has no reason to borrow my things, because anything more complicated than that tool case that I got her, she'd probably need me to do or help her with. So that's kind of important. So there you go. I think that pretty much covers it for the day. I don't know if John is going to be coming on today. If he does, I may try and join What If I Could and keep working on this. And then again, let's see, I think it's Thursday. When is Juneteenth? I think Juneteenth is Thursday. So I'll be taking the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off and be working on the Christmas stuff. And you have 5 big rollaway boxes. Yeah. But hey, I haven't gotten into my other cabinets. I got a cabinet over there that just has, that one's a mess. That one has chemicals and all kinds of things. And I have shelves that have scrap wood, good wood, you know, an intarsia piece that I started a year ago and haven't finished is on another. Then all my cans of paint behind, you know, that's behind my rolling cabinet. Then I've got an old-fashioned wooden toolbox that I keep more of my classic tools in, some like my carving tools and stuff like that, blades and things. So yeah, there's this. Then I have these biscotti, plastic biscotti. They're like this high, and I keep wheels in them. So I told my wife, get me more biscotti because I want to have a whole bunch of those. I have some old Sharps containers that I haven't used, but I put wheels and pegs in those. You know, so try and stay very, very organized with that. Let's see, yeah, Juneteenth is the 20th. Oh, my heavens. It's the 20th anniversary? Wait, oh, it's the 20th, your 57th birthday. Okay, sometimes I joke around that I just celebrated last month the 40th anniversary of my 22nd birthday. So I thought that's what you were saying at first. But yeah. So there we go. I think that's it for now. I've got to figure out some of the Sunday chores to do. And it's now 81 degrees, and that is on the sun side of the house. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do some power washing today because that is going to really shake and bake me. And I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I'm gonna do my 3 days at NATO and kind of go from there. And trying to find out what's going on. But I had 3 people asking me if I was going to be at HQ on July 1st. So apparently I'm getting some award from NATO, from you know, Allied Command Transformation, which I'm a part of as a contracted civilian. And, you know, I guess I'm getting some kind of award, which is cool. And, you know, it's nice that I've got a contract, though it gets looked at every year budget-wise for the next 5 years. So that takes me to full retirement age and whether I want to retire or not. You know, I like the people. I like the work that I do. I'm capable of it. I'm still healthy enough to do it. And then all this stuff here keeps me occupied. Keeps my hands occupied, my mind. I'm able to express myself artwork-wise. Have my charity, Poppy's Workshop.org, where I'm donating tools to children in need. So that is actually going to be my retirement business, volunteering to myself, doing those things. So I set that all up. You quit counting at 26. So did I. I quit counting at 22. And like I said, I just celebrated my 40th anniversary of my 22nd birthday. But yeah, I really, it's like, look, age is just a number. As long as I'm still functioning, thinking, talking, having fun, enjoying my food, hey, you can't, yeah, it's the pink slip. Yeah, you know, hey, I've seen a guy basically get bounced out. He was going in for a knee surgery, and the branch head had lost confidence in him just around the same time, and he wasn't coming back, which was kind of a bummer. And I've seen that happen to a couple, even military folk, when they lose confidence. It's like, boom, you're gone. So, you know, I make sure that I maintain a very high cadence of my work. I probably outperform probably 3 or 4 times what others are doing. A lot of people come to me and it's like, yeah, it's not my job, but I know how to do it. So I try to lend a hand as best as possible, stay behind the scenes. I really don't like getting an award um, because now all of a sudden my name and face is out there. I don't want that. But, hey, that's life. I've been working since, professionally, real job since I was 16 years old and was eligible to work. But even before that, mowing yards, fixing bicycles, shoveling driveways, working in my father's business and having to do it really seriously, his medical business, did that as well. So, yeah, I think I was 16. I mean, I was already doing other things, but one time he had started his own business, getting back into X-ray, and we used the downstairs of our house, what was our playroom, and our garage, and that was the temporary workshop for his business until he could get into rented facilities. And he brought home an X-ray machine, and he's like, Ricky, get down here, get down here. And he points to it, and he said, make it work and clean it. Make it look new. So I had to fix an X-ray machine, get it working, and then clean it up. And it was it was originally for humans, and then we were going to sell it to a veterinarian because, you couldn't get it certified anymore because of its age. But, he guided me through it, and that's how I learned. Yeah, no one is irreplaceable. And I always say that, there's always a hotshot who can go along. And I saw that when I was interviewing with SpaceX back in 2016. And I had known 15 minutes before I left for the interview that I couldn't work for Elon Musk, but I went through the motions of the interview. And I've told this story before. But when I saw all these young college hotshot graduates, they could take 2 of those for the price of me. I go in and I'm asking a lot more money because of my experience and everything like that. And these people are freaking brilliant. I mean, he's hiring brilliant people, no doubt about it. And, I can go right to the laptop camera. Yeah, there we go. So, I'd ask them, because at this point I'm trying to throw the interview without telling them that I'm not interested, because they flew me out there. And, I didn't want to ruffle feathers or anything like that. But I asked them, I said, I'm looking, I said, I see these young college graduates, brilliant. I can see the brilliance of these people. Why do you want me? Because, look, that was, how many years ago was that? 6 years ago. So, I was mid-50s. 50, what was I? 56. And they basically said, we really want an adult in the room, because I was a manager, operations manager. And, they may be brilliant, but they needed to be corralled, the cats, they were, a herd of cats. So that's what it was, but I didn't want to take that. Yeah, Famous Amos. Gosh, yeah, I mean, look at MySpace as a business. Look what's happening to Elon Musk right now, and a lot of it is him. As brilliant as he is, he's making some really poor decisions that I think ultimately can hurt the businesses. I worry about SpaceX, but I forgot her name, Shotwell, who's actually running it. I think she's kind of keeping things separated from him to a certain extent, but he is the face. Look what happened to Apple. After what was his name, the founder left and then had to come back and all that. They were going down, but then came back. But yeah, absolutely no one is irreplaceable, and I never, I can say no matter how good I am, there is always somebody a magnitude better than I am. And that's always been that way. I know what I know. I know what I can do. I try to do it the best that I can, but there's always going to be somebody else. and I have to accept that. Not let my ego get the best of me. Always always try and keep that in check. But yeah, I remember Famous Amos and his cookies, and the thing that I didn't like with that is when they started boxing or bagging the cookies, and they tasted, pretty much like what you get out of a Keebler box. They were dry, they were crumbly. It's like, nah. You know, I think Auntie Annie's pretzels are still out there, but not as much. Hey, look what's happening to Red Lobster. I think it's Red Lobster, declaring bankruptcy. Now, that wasn't due to one person or one thing. Ben and Jerry, well, they sold it, but they stayed on the board of directors. I mean, they had a pretty funky deal. They stayed on the board of directors, but I don't think they had voting power or something like that. But because of who they were very influential. But what recently happened, I think, with Israel and everything, they alienated a lot of people. I will not eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream, to be honest. First, I find it overpriced, but and it's not as good as it used to. I forgot who it was that took over, and I think they're trying to divest of it now or get him off the board, something like that. But that was more voluntary, but they shot themselves in the foot. To me, look, you're a business. I don't care about your politics or anything like that. I don't want to hear about it. All right. If I want politics, I'm going to go to a political station, news or whatever, and I want to hear straight news until I get to the personalities, the opinion page on the newspaper. Then that's. But I don't want to be eating an ice cream and hearing, oh, we're going to divest or not allow an ice cream shop or ice cream to be sold in Israel, blah, blah. It's like, no matter what side I'm on, I don't want to hear it. We get pummeled enough in the media. Why do more? Harry's Blades was another one. They decided to insult, and Gillette, they decided to insult their core customer, men. And it's like, heck, then I'm going to go to somebody else if that's the way you think about me. It's unfortunate that people are stepping into the culture wars because we are so divided today. I am just tired, overwhelmed at some point. I just don't want to hear it anymore. And me, I'm the one, when I read news, I will read CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Washington Times, Washington Post, New York Times, AP. So I don't believe they are telling the unadulterated truth or the facts. Everything has an agenda or is twisted. So, I'm kind of trying to look at it. There's two sides to the story, and then there's the truth. So I'm trying to filter that, and then it's exhausting, to be honest. And everybody knows that. But, I shouldn't have gone off on this tangent, but, that's why I want to stick with the scroll saw stuff and go with that. Let me switch back to the split so we can go back to this. Oh, not the split. Let me go back to the inset with scroll saw. There we go. Here I am. Hi, God. So here's where we're at. Hopefully we will do a little bit more today. And that's pretty much it. But we're almost an hour and 45 minutes into this. It's like the Hollywoods. Is that Stick the Movies or Stick to? Because there's a heart there on the stream. I can't read it. So I think it's Stick to the Movies. Exactly. It's like, look, there was an expression, shut up and sing, or shut up and act. I don't care that, you get paid very, very well to pretend to be somebody else. You get paid very, very well to sing songs about your failed relationships or whatever it is. Do that the best that you can. Evoke my emotions through music, through your lyrics. Now granted, if you look at some of the greatest music that people still talk about from the late 60s, Vietnam War into the 70s, they were anti-war and things like that. But they were more subtle. I mean, you look at Fortunate Son. I love that by CCR. All right, anti-Vietnam, anti-government. You know, even, well, this was a Canadian band, was American Woman. That wasn't more political. But I really, I really laugh when these politicians will use the song American Woman. All right, and it's like, do you know what the next part of the lyric? Get away from me. And it's like, this is an anti-American woman song by, I think it was Guess Who. So kind of funny, but it's the same thing. Look, you act. I don't care about your politics, all right? But if you start trying to espouse them and basically saying, well, I'm an actor and you should listen to me, you know, my opinion's better than yours. No, your opinion is the same as mine. And you think you can use the bully pulpit, I'm going to turn you off. I don't want to hear it. I want to see you act. I think that's why, you know, you look at Tom Cruise and the movies that he does, he stays out of politics and all that. The only time, though, when he got, quote unquote, into trouble is when he had criticized, oh, I forgot the actress, about using a psychiatrist when she was in postpartum, Brooke Shields. He got into trouble for that, and when he was jumping up and down on Oprah's couch when he was so in love with Katie, whatever her name is, you know, and then his stuff with the Scientology, he keeps it kind of quiet, but yeah, you know, a lot of people do not like him because he's a Scientologist. You know, and we had that issue with politicians with John F. Kennedy. He was the first Catholic. Oh my gosh, he's going to make this a Catholic nation. You know, the stupidity behind that, but by the same token, he was quiet about it. And, you know, don't need to do it. Just live your life, and we'll go from there. But anyway, we're at 1:45, and in time, it's almost noontime. I'm getting hungry and thirsty here. And as I said, I don't know if John is doing anything today, and hopefully I'll be able to get on that if he is on. And next week, I think we're still going to be working on some of the Christmas items next Sunday at 10 o'clock. And I did have a blog post come out a couple days ago on poppysworkshop.org. And again, my Facebook, it's underscores. It's Poppy's Workshop underscore, I think it's, I don't remember if it's Virginia Beach or VA underscore Beach, but you should probably be able to find my group there. But I don't do a whole lot there. I repost the blogs from my website on that as well. So yeah, you can check that out. And yeah, Larry, appreciate you. I appreciate the questions and everything. And yeah, let's see each other next week. May the Lord richly bless you. Make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop. Take care.